Hello. I'm just here to play a video, so I didn't set anything up. I want you guys to watch this and enjoy.
The leftist media is in total meltdown. And it's all because of Hunter Biden. The drug-crazed, alcoholic, sex-addicted son of US President Joe Biden has always been a protected species in the eyes of the mainstream media, the White House, and even the judicial system. That is, until now. One courageous judge refused to rubber stamp the sweetheart deal made between Hunter Biden's team and prosecutors over potential violations of tax and gun laws, which in turn forced Hunter to plead not guilty and the court to be convened in 30 days for closer re-examination. This is a far cry from the slap on the wrist the Biden camp expected. Sky News All-Stars Douglas Murray, James Morrow and Chris Kenny react as the media scrambles to silence the story.
It seems the judge who was looking at this plea deal, Mary Ellen Noreika, took one look at the absolute nonsense that was being proposed and said, no way. And good on her. The fact that she saw what was happening and had the courage to say stop is a great credit not just to her, but also the resilience of the rather battered American justice system, where if you're a Biden at least, the fix is, generally speaking, comprehensively in. Only this time, it wasn't. You see, it came out in the plea bargain hearing that what was proposed for Hunter was not just something that would get him off the hook for all the stupid crimes we do know about. The deal was also going to protect him from any investigation ever into anything he'd ever done in the past, in perpetuity. Now, an analysis of the transcripts, sadly cameras were not allowed in the courtroom, of the hearing reveals that Hunter's lawyers essentially tried to bury the immunity clause that he was being offered, which had been negotiated with the Department of Justice, and I put that word in quotes. This was done to keep Judge Noreika from getting wise to the deal. Not only that, they had worded this immunity clause in such a way that the judge would be powerless to reject it. Well, guess what? She was too clever for them, and she did. She blew the whole thing up, and Hunter Biden's plea deal is now suspended until everyone goes back to the drawing board. Going through the transcript of the hearing, it turns out what Hunter's lawyers and the Department of Justice tried on here was absolutely incredible. The judge asked the prosecutor not once but 5 times if there was any precedent for this sweetest of sweetheart deals that was so sugary that if it was a snack food, it would be endorsed by Lizzo. She said she had never seen a deal with this sort of, quote, not to prosecute, lifetime get-out-of-jail-free clause in it. And she even questioned its constitutionality.
The media has always protected the Bidens, managing to spin corruption scandals into a beautiful tale of enduring family love.
Let's start with the always reliable lefty lunacy of The View. Take it away, Anna Navarro.
The Hunter Biden story, the scandal, the this, the that, it's also the story of a father's love. And Joe Biden has never and will never give up on his son Hunter, and will never treat him lesser than. And so he is a father first. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, she's almost crying there, Prue. Yes, that whole story, that entire scandal is a story about a father's love. Yeah, 10% for the
take the bag around and do the collection. That's a father's love.
Yeah, I mean, please, how thick must that audience be to sit there and be fed that, and not to laugh out loud or hiss or, you know, some sort of a reaction to those insane words.
But not even CNN can avoid this latest curveball, which took them by complete surprise and sent the network's commentators into a meltdown.
And naturally, the Democrats and their handmaidens in the press are having a harder time coping. CNN had an absolute meltdown over all this, asking, what just happened?
Someone made a bad mistake here. Am I wrong looking at this, saying that these someone, whether it be Hunter Biden's defense or prosecutors here,
how could there be such a big miscommunication?
I cannot even begin to explain how the Justice Department walks into that courtroom without knowing exactly what the scope of immunity or coverage is for Hunter Biden.
The media want more than anything to sweep this under the rug like they've done for every other Biden scandal. But it may just be too late.
I think that there is almost a panic setting in with the media. They all want to move on because the alternative is to recognize one of the most significant corruption scandals in modern history. But it's something that the media played a role in suppressing. So they want everyone to move on, but that's just not going to happen.
But some in the conservative media are relieved that Hunter may finally be held to account, restoring faith in the US judicial system.
I was shocked that it fell apart, like everyone else, I suppose. But also, I was happy that the US judicial system is capable of striking down absurd plea deals when there's no precedent for them, and where they were going to grant absurd levels of immunity to Hunter Biden in this case. So I think it's a good outcome. I think it restores faith in the US legal system, at least in this case. And of course, I mean, Democrats are very worried because, as you suggested, if there are further charges levied in the future, further investigations against Hunter related to his foreign dealings, then that could uncover all sorts of information about where that money had gone, and of course whether or not Joe Biden knew about it or benefited from it.
And it's not only Hunter that's being dealt a blow. Sky News All-Star Douglas Murray says this latest incident may be the undoing of Joe Biden's election chances.
Now, Douglas, what's particularly interesting here is Hunter Biden admitted to the judge that he received over $600,000 US from a Chinese Communist Party-backed company. Now, this completely contradicts President Biden's insistence that nobody from his family made a cent from China. Douglas, this doesn't look good for the president at a time when his approval rating is already sub 40%.
Yes, I've said to you before, Rita, that I think that there is so much more to come on this. And it is going to be the tool that the Democrat Party will use to make sure that Joe Biden isn't actually their candidate at the next election. I put it out there again now. The Biden family corruption story is just deadly for Joe Biden and, as a result, for the party should they be running him at the next election.
Sky News host Chris Kenny goes even further, saying Joe Biden could be impeached for his role in Hunter's business dealings.
We will see what happens. There's even talk of impeachment proceedings against the president based on his role in Hunter Biden's business dealings. Never forget that this was the story most of the mainstream media, the digital giants, and the FBI dismissed in the lead up to the election. Again, the truth usually comes out eventually.
However, comedian Alex Stein isn't so sure and thinks that both Hunter and Joe Biden will be given a get-out-of-jail-free card because US people are too worried about paying their bills to pay attention to the Biden circus.
You know, you talk about impeachment, you talk about all this stuff. I don't reckon, though, when you look at the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, I don't think the average American is tuning in to just how bad this is. I'm worried that he's going to skate. What do you reckon?
Well, come on, you guys have been to America. Probably half the people don't even know who Kamala Harris is. People are worried about their bills. People are worried about their life, actually trying to make it in America when they're, worried about being a victim of crime. People, the middle class is basically gone. People can't afford to pay for a single family home. So we're just kind of like in this debt slavery that we can't even basically pay attention to who is in power. So you're right, James. Most people don't even care because they don't even know.
Really cool to see Alex Stein at the end there. Thanks for watching.